Ladies and gentlemen, every great transformation in human history began not with action, but with thought. Thought is the starting point of every achievement, every failure, every destiny. Your life today is nothing more than the reflection of the thoughts you allowed to dominate your mind yesterday. If you wish to change your life, you must first change your thinking. Understand this truth: you become what you think about most of the time. If you think weakness, you will live weak. If you think greatness, you will rise to greatness. Your mind is the workshop where every victory or defeat is first built. Control your mind, or it will control you. Left undirected, it breeds fear, doubt, worry, and limitation. But when disciplined, it produces faith, courage, determination, and abundance. The choice is always yours: to let your mind drift aimlessly, or to seize it and direct it toward power. Use the principle of autosuggestion. Speak to yourself with authority. Declare what you want, not what you fear. When repeated with faith, those words sink deep into your subconscious and begin to command your reality. Harness imagination. The pictures you hold in your mind are blueprints of the future. Visualize victory, success, wealth, health, achievement, and your actions will move to fulfill that vision. Focus is the weapon of the strong. Scatter your thoughts and your energy is wasted. Concentrate your thoughts on a single purpose, and you unleash a force so powerful it bends circumstances in your favor. Guard your mind like treasure. Do not let negative influences, toxic people, or destructive words enter. One seed of doubt can destroy an entire garden of faith. Protect your mental soil and plant only thoughts that grow strength, courage, and achievement. Persistence of thought becomes persistence of action. Hold one idea with unwavering faith, and your life will be pulled toward it. What you think consistently and deeply, you will ultimately become. So I ask you, will you remain a prisoner of uncontrolled thoughts, or will you become the master of your mind? Master your thoughts, and you will master your world. Transform your life by controlling your thoughts, and nothing will be impossible for you. Thought is the seed of destiny. Every single thing that exists in your life today began first as a thought. The clothes you wear, the chair you sit on, the building you stand in, each was first a vision in someone's mind before it became reality. The same law governs your life. Your circumstances, your habits, your victories, and even your defeats are the harvest of the thoughts you have sown and nourished. Nothing comes into existence without the silent power of thought planting the seed. If you desire transformation, if you want to rise above your present conditions, you must begin with this one truth: your destiny is written in the garden of your mind. When you think weak thoughts, you become weak. When you think bold thoughts, you rise in strength. You cannot think defeat and expect victory. You cannot entertain fear and walk in courage. You cannot dwell on lack and expect abundance. The law is exact and unwavering. You become what you think about most of the time. The quality of your life will always mirror the quality of your dominant thoughts. Control your mind, or your mind will control you. A mind left undirected becomes a breeding ground for doubt, fear, worry, and limitation. These are the weeds of the mind, and if you allow them to grow unchecked, they will strangle every dream you carry. But when you seize your thoughts, discipline them, and focus them on purpose, you create faith, courage, determination, and strength. The mind is both the servant and the master. It will deliver destruction if you let it wander, or it will deliver greatness if you command it. Words you speak to yourself are not harmless. They are commands to your subconscious. Every time you repeat weakness, your mind believes it. Every time you affirm strength, your mind builds it. The secret lies in autosuggestion. Speak what you want with conviction, not what you fear. Declare success, declare power, declare victory, and those declarations will sink deep into your subconscious until they become instinct, guiding your actions without resistance. Imagination is the workshop of the mind. What you hold vividly before you with emotion will begin to take form. See yourself strong, see yourself successful, see yourself rising above circumstances, and your mind will start to find the ways, the opportunities, the strength to make it real. Do not waste imagination on fears and failures, for what you rehearse in your mind, you invite into your life. Paint only the pictures you want to live. Focus is your greatest weapon. A scattered mind is weak, like sunlight spread across the sky. But when concentrated like a magnifying glass capturing the rays of the sun, it burns with unstoppable intensity. Concentrate your thoughts on one great purpose, and you unleash a force that bends circumstances, people, and opportunities in your favor. Every great achievement was born of a mind obsessed with one idea, held long enough and strong enough until it broke into reality. Guard your mind with absolute discipline. Do not allow toxic influences to poison your thinking. The books you read, the people you surround yourself with, the conversations you tolerate, each plants seeds in your mental soil. One seed of doubt, one seed of cynicism can choke an entire harvest of faith. Choose carefully what you feed your mind, for it will become the food of your destiny. Feed it with courage, determination, knowledge, and possibility. Persistence in thought creates persistence in action. Hold one thought with unwavering faith, and your actions will align to fulfill it. A single idea carried with conviction has the power to transform an entire life. Do not abandon your vision when obstacles appear. Remember, obstacles are powerless against a mind determined to win. The difference between those who succeed and those who fail is not talent, not luck, but the persistence of thought. Ask yourself now, what thoughts dominate your mind each day? Are they thoughts of fear or faith, of limitation or possibility, of weakness or strength? Your life will answer that question more honestly than your words ever can. Look at your results, your habits, your environment. They are the reflection of your inner world. If you are dissatisfied, it is not the world that must change. It is your thinking that must be renewed. Thought is the seed of destiny. It is the first call. If Ife is not resisting them, their own thoughts are. They have enslaved themselves with their own dwelling. But you are not powerless. You have the ability to choose what you dwell upon. Your mind is not a dumping ground for every stray thought, unless you permit it. It is the most powerful instrument you own, and when you direct it with purpose, it will open doors you never believed possible. The moment you begin to discipline your thoughts, you begin to rewrite your destiny. Imagine dwelling only on faith, only on strength, only on victory. Imagine rising every morning and commanding your mind to focus on what you want, not what you fear. Imagine walking into every challenge, seeing yourself not as a victim of circumstance, but as the master of it. When you dwell on greatness, you begin to act in ways that attract greatness. When you dwell on courage, you begin to act in ways that demand courage. The law works without failure. Your dominant thoughts always pull your life in their direction. Guard your dwelling place. Do not allow fear to pitch its tent in your mind. Do not allow toxic voices to live rent-free in your head. Every word you hear, every image you see, every conversation you allow plants seeds. Those seeds either grow weeds that choke your purpose, or they grow flowers that feed your destiny. Be ruthless in protecting your mental soil. Choose carefully what you allow to take root, because once it grows, it becomes your reality. You must understand the power of repetition. The more you dwell on a thought, the deeper it carves itself into your subconscious. A single passing thought has little power, but a thought repeated, entertained, and fed becomes belief, and belief is the driving force of action. That is why the weak stay weak. They rehearse weakness until it becomes their truth. That is why the strong grow stronger. They rehearse victory until it becomes impossible to act otherwise. When adversity comes, and it will, the thoughts you have dwelled upon will determine your response. If you have trained your mind to dwell on fear, you will crumble. If you have trained it to dwell on faith, you will rise. Life does not give you what you want, it gives you what you prepare for in your mind. And every day, with every thought you allow to linger, you are preparing for either defeat or triumph. So I ask you now, what do you dwell upon? Do you rehearse past mistakes, or do you rehearse future victories? Do you entertain excuses, or do you entertain solutions? Do you dwell on scarcity or on abundance? Your answer is already shaping your tomorrow. Look at your results, look at your habits, look at your environment. They are mirrors of your inner dwelling. If you do not like what you see, then change what you allow yourself to dwell upon. You become what you dwell upon. This is not philosophy. It is law. If you dwell on fear, you will live in chains. If you dwell on faith, you will walk in freedom. If you dwell on mediocrity, you will live an average life. If you dwell on greatness, you will be pulled into greatness. Everything you are, everything you will ever achieve begins in the silence of your thoughts. From this moment, take command. Choose to dwell on strength, and your actions will mirror strength. Choose to dwell on persistence, and obstacles will become stepping stones. Choose to dwell on victory, and your life will rise into victory. Stop giving your attention to what you do not want, and start feeding only what you want to grow. You become what you dwell upon. Master this truth, and you master yourself. Master yourself, and you master the world around you. This is the key to transformation. This is the foundation of destiny. And this is the power that waits inside you right now, ready to build the life you have only imagined, if only you dare to dwell upon it. Control your mind, or it will control you. This is the greatest battle you will ever fight, and it is fought within. The mind is a master so powerful that it can either enslave you or set you free. It can make you a giant or reduce you to dust. If you fail to seize it, it will drag you into fear, doubt, and weakness. But if you master it, it will carry you to greatness, victory, and power. Every man or woman who has ever risen to glory did so by first conquering the battlefield of thought, and every person who fell into misery did so because they surrendered their mind to chaos. The truth is simple. If you do not command your thoughts will command you. A mind left unguarded will not drift toward strength. It will drift toward weakness. It will whisper that you are not enough, that the challenge is too great, that you are destined to fail. And if you allow those whispers to linger, they will grow into beliefs, and those beliefs will dictate your actions, chaining you to mediocrity. That is the trap of the uncontrolled mind. But when you take control, everything changes. The same mind that once filled you with fear begins to feed you courage. The same imagination that once tormented you with visions of failure begins to paint visions of triumph. The same thoughts that once pushed you down begin to lift you up. You are not a prisoner of your mind. You are its master if you choose to be. Consider how many lives are wasted because people never take hold of their own thinking. They wake up each morning and let the world pour its poison into their minds, news of disaster, opinions of doubters, fears of the weak. They accept every thought that enters as if it were truth, never realizing that they are free to reject, to replace, to command their inner dialogue. They are driven like leaves in the wind, carried wherever their uncontrolled thoughts take them. And then they wonder why they feel powerless. You must rise above this. You must decide that no thought will live in your mind without your permission. You must choose what you dwell upon. Your mind is a garden. If you plant weeds, weeds will grow. If you plant seeds of strength, courage, and vision, those will grow instead. The soil does not choose, you do. That is why discipline of thought is the foundation of all success. Do not underestimate the power of repetition. Every thought you allow, every image you replay, every word you speak to yourself is a command to your subconscious. The more you repeat it, the more real it becomes. Fear repeated becomes reality. Faith repeated becomes reality. If you tell yourself you cannot, your mind believes it. If you tell yourself you can, your mind believes that too. This is why you must guard your self-talk with ruthless intensity. Speak only what strengthens you, never what weakens you. Control also means focus. Scatter your thoughts, and your power is diluted. Concentrate them on a single vision, and your power multiplies. The human mind, when focused with determination, becomes unstoppable. All great achievements came from men and women who mastered this, who refused to allow distraction, who refused to give attention to what did not serve their purpose. They took control, and by doing so, they bent reality in their favor. You will be tested. Life will throw obstacles in your path, and in those moments, your control will be revealed. Will you allow fear to seize you, or will you command faith? Will you allow doubt to freeze you, or will you command persistence? Understand this: adversity is not the enemy. The true enemy is the weakness within an uncontrolled mind. Master your mind, and every obstacle becomes fuel. Lose control, and even the smallest challenge will break you. So I ask you, who is in control right now, you or your thoughts? Are you directing your mind each day toward victory, Or is your mind dragging you into worry and hesitation? Look at your life, for it is the answer. Your results, your habits, your emotions, they are mirrors of your inner control. If your life is chaos, your mind is chaos. If your life is strength, your mind is strength. Control your mind, or it will control you. This law does not bend, it does not compromise, it does not show mercy. It will deliver either destruction or greatness, depending on who is in command. Do not wait another day to take hold. Begin now. Replace fear with faith, doubt with determination, weakness with courage. Reject what does not serve you. Repeat only what strengthens you. Focus only on what moves you forward. Guard your mind as though your future depends on it, because it does. Remember, the mind is your servant, but only if you rule it with discipline. Leave it untamed, and it will enslave you. Master it, and it will elevate you beyond anything you imagine possible. Control your mind, or it will control you. Seize that truth, live it, and you will discover that nothing is beyond your reach. Autosuggestion is power. The words you speak to yourself, the thoughts you repeat, the images you allow to dominate your mind, these are not harmless echoes. They are commands. They are orders written into the subconscious. And the subconscious never argues. It never questions. It simply obeys. And what it obeys, it creates. This is the hidden engine that shapes every success and every failure. Most people live as prisoners because they allow their minds to be filled with suggestions of fear, doubt, and weakness. But those who understand the power of autosuggestion rise to heights that others call impossible. Every day, without realizing it, you are practicing autosuggestion. When you say, can't, you are programming failure. When you say, I am tired, you are reinforcing weakness. When you say, I will never succeed, you are writing your defeat into the script of your life. But when you declare, I can, I will, I must, you are programming victory. Your words sink beneath the surface, take root in your subconscious, and become beliefs. And those beliefs shape your behavior, your persistence, your destiny. The mind is a fertile field. Whatever seed you plant, the soil accepts. It does not choose, it does not resist. Plant poison, and it will grow poison. Plant power, and it will grow power. This is why you must choose your suggestions with precision. Speak strength, and your life bends towards strength. Speak victory, and your actions align with victory. Speak abundance, and your mind begins to create the pathways that bring abundance. It cannot be otherwise. The subconscious does not argue, it obeys. Consider how many people imprison themselves by careless suggestion. They say, I'm too old, and age becomes their excuse. They say, I'm unlucky, and misfortune follows them. They say, it's impossible, and their mind shuts every door of possibility. They believe these words because they repeat them, and because they repeat them, they live them. Their lives are nothing more than the reflection of their own repeated suggestions. But you can break this cycle. You can begin today to reprogram your subconscious with words of power. Declare daily what you want, not what you fear. Tell yourself, I am strong, I am capable, I am persistent, I am destined for greatness. Repeat it with emotion, repeat it with faith, repeat it until it becomes so deeply rooted that doubt cannot erase it. Do not speak weakness, for weakness repeated becomes your truth. Speak strength, for strength repeated becomes unshakable belief. Autosuggestion is not a game. It is not wishful thinking. It is the deliberate training of the subconscious mind. And once the subconscious accepts a thought, it works day and night to bring it into reality. It influences your habits, directs your focus, fuels your decisions, and even attracts opportunities aligned with your belief. This is why people who believe in their victory act with such relentless persistence. They cannot see themselves losing, and because they cannot see it, they will not allow it. Understand this, the world outside you is shaped by the world inside you. If your inner voice is one of defeat, your outer life will reflect defeat. If why? Our inner voice is one of power. Your outer life will reflect power. Autosuggestion is the bridge between thought and reality. It is the tool that allows you to take command of your destiny. Every champion in history has used it, whether knowingly or not. They repeated affirmations of victory. They saw themselves winning long before they stepped into the arena. They programmed their minds to believe so completely that failure could not survive in their imagination. And because they believed so deeply, they acted so decisively, and because they acted, they won. That is the cycle of power: belief reinforced by suggestion, suggestion creating action, action fulfilling belief. You must practice it daily. Just as the body becomes strong through repeated exercise, the mind becomes strong through repeated suggestion. Once is not enough. Twice is not enough. You must repeat until the thought becomes automatic, until it sinks so deeply that it governs your instinct. When fear rises, suggestion must answer with faith. When doubt whispers, suggestion must roar with certainty. When weakness knocks, suggestion must slam the door shut. This is discipline. This is mastery. Ask yourself now, what suggestions do you live by? Are you repeating fear, or are you repeating faith? Are you telling yourself you can, or are you telling yourself you cannot? Your life will answer more honestly than your words. Look at your results, your habits, your persistence. They are the reflection of what you have been telling yourself all along. If you want a new life, you must begin by giving yourself new suggestions. Autosuggestion is power. Use it to command your destiny. Use it to burn weakness out of your mind. Use it to replace doubt with unshakable faith. Feed your subconscious daily with affirmations of strength, of courage, of persistence, of victory. Speak them when you wake. Speak them when you face obstacles. Speak them until they become the very language of your soul. Control the suggestions and you control the beliefs. Control the beliefs and you control the actions. Control the actions and you control the destiny. The law is exact, the power is real, and it belongs to you now. Autosuggestion is power. Use it, master it, live it, and there will be no limit to what you can achieve. Imagination builds reality. Everything you see around you, the buildings, the machines, the inventions, the art, the achievements, once lived only in the mind of someone who dared to imagine it. Imagination is the blueprint of destiny. It is the power to see what is not yet visible, to hold in your mind what does not yet exist, and to believe in it so strongly that it begins to take form in the physical world. The truth is undeniable. What you consistently imagine, with intensity and faith, will eventually become the life you live. The great divide between the average and the extraordinary is not talent, not luck, not resources. It is imagination. Most people see only what is, and they remain trapped, fed by it. The great ones see what could be, and they move toward it until it becomes real. If you can imagine yourself strong, successful, and unstoppable, and if you dwell on that vision with persistence, your actions will align to make it true. But if you imagine only failure, only defeat, only weakness, your life will bend in that direction as well. Imagination is the architect of your reality, whether you use it consciously or not. Think about this. Your mind is always painting pictures. When you fear, you imagine failure. When you worry, you imagine disaster. When you doubt, you imagine loss. And those pictures influence your emotions, your decisions, your habits. You act in harmony with what you see inside. This is why people who imagine defeat are defeated before they even begin. They see themselves falling, and their actions follow. But the opposite is also true. Those who imagine victory, who see themselves winning long before the moment arrives, act with such confidence and persistence that the world bends in their favor. The power of imagination is not fantasy. It is creation. Every invention began in imagination. Every empire was first a vision in the mind of a leader. Every triumph was rehearsed in the private theater of thought before it was celebrated in reality. Imagination is the workshop of the mind where you design your future. The stronger and more vivid the vision, the faster reality begins to arrange itself to match it. The tragedy is that most people use imagination against themselves. They imagine sickness instead of health, poverty instead of wealth, fear instead of courage. They play mental movies of what they do not want, and by replaying them with emotion, they invite those very outcomes into their lives. Understand this. Imagination does not care whether you use it for success or failure. It delivers whatever pictures you feed it. That is why you must take control. You must direct your imagination like a captain steering a ship. If you drift, the storms of fear and doubt will take you. If you steer with vision, the winds of destiny will carry you. Begin today to imagine only what serves you. See yourself strong in the face of challenge. See yourself rising no matter how many times you fall. See yourself breaking through obstacles, achieving your goals, living the life you desire. Hold that vision with emotion. Feel it as though it were already true. Let it burn in your mind until it becomes more real than your current circumstances. Because when the vision inside you grows stronger than the conditions around you, the conditions must change. Imagination, backed by belief, creates an unstoppable force. The subconscious mind accepts what you vividly imagine and moves to bring it into being. It alters your habits, sharpens your focus, opens your eyes to opportunities you would have otherwise missed. It magnetizes people, resources, and situations that align with your vision. That is why imagination, when fueled with faith, is not a dream but a preview of your destiny. But imagination alone is not enough. You must persist. You must revisit the vision daily, reinforcing it with thought, word, and action. One vision held weakly will fade. One vision held strongly, persistently, relentlessly will shape every choice you make until it becomes reality. This is the discipline of champions. They do not allow their imagination to wander aimlessly. They lock it onto victory and hold it until the world yields. Ask yourself, what images dominate your mind each day? Do you see yourself as limited, stuck, defeated? Or do you see yourself as powerful, unstoppable, destined to win? The pictures you hold are not harmless. They are prophecies. If you do not like the life you are living, change the pictures you are imagining. Paint a greater vision. Live in that vision until it becomes impossible to deny. Imagination builds reality. If you imagine weakness, you will live weak. If you imagine courage, you will rise with courage. If you imagine defeat, defeat will find you. If you imagine victory, victory will chase you. The law is absolute. You cannot consistently imagine one life and live another. So from this moment, discipline your imagination. Do not allow it to dwell on what you fear. Command it to dwell only on what you desire. See yourself strong, see yourself rising, see yourself winning. Feed the vision daily with faith and persistence until your reality bends to match it. Imagination is not a toy. It is creation. It is the invisible builder of the visible world. Master it, and you master destiny. Live by it, and you will rise to heights that others call impossible. Imagination builds reality. So build wisely, build boldly, and build with the certainty that the life you see in your mind is already waiting for you to claim it. Focus determines energy. Wherever your attention goes, your energy flows. Concentrate your thoughts on fear, and you will drain your strength. Concentrate your thoughts on courage, and you will ignite your power. Focus is the channel through which every ounce of your potential is directed. A scattered mind wastes energy on distractions, doubts, and trivialities. A focused mind concentrates energy like a laser, cutting through obstacles and bending circumstances in its favor. The difference between mediocrity and greatness is not chance, but the ability to focus relentlessly on a single aim until it is achieved. Look at the lives of those who accomplish little. They jump from one idea to another, one desire to another, never committing fully, never concentrating their power. Their energy is scattered like sunlight across the sky, warm but weak. Now look at the lives of those who accomplish much. They fix their minds on one goal with such intensity that every thought, every action, every ounce of energy is pulled in that direction. Their focus becomes their strength, and their strength becomes their destiny. Your energy is limited. Each day you are given a fee, an amount of mental and emotional power. If you waste it on distractions, if you scatter it across dozens of unimportant pursuits, you will never have enough left for the one thing that truly matters. But if you discipline your mind, if you cut away the noise and focus with absolute clarity, you can achieve what others call impossible. For focus multiplies energy. What is weak when scattered becomes unstoppable when concentrated. Think of a magnifying glass. Sunlight by itself is gentle, But when concentrated through the glass, it becomes so powerful it can set fire to anything it touches. Your mind works the same way. When you let it wander, it has little effect. But when you focus it, when you direct it toward one great purpose, it burns with unstoppable force. That is the power of focus. It converts ordinary energy into extraordinary results. Yet most people live distracted. They let the trivial steal their attention. They waste hours on gossip, on worry, on meaningless pursuits. They start projects and abandon them halfway. They think about success for a moment, then let doubt and fear dominate the rest of the day. They want change, but their attention is scattered, and therefore their energy is scattered. Without focus, desire is powerless. Without focus, strength is wasted. Without focus, potential dies unused. But when you choose to focus, you awaken power. When you direct your mind to one definite purpose and refuse to let it wander, you channel every part of yourself into that mission. Your thoughts align, your actions align, your habits align. Every decision is filtered through the question, does this move me closer to my vision or further away? That clarity gives birth to persistence, and persistence fueled by focus becomes unstoppable. Ask yourself, what do you focus on daily? Do you focus on problems or on solutions? Do you focus on what you lack or on what you can create? Do you focus on the opinions of others or on the purpose burning inside you? Your focus determines the direction of your energy, and the direction of your energy determines the outcome of your life. If you want strength, focus on strength. If you want victory, focus on victory. If you want growth, focus on growth. The secret of all achievement is single-minded focus. Every champion, every inventor, every leader who left a mark on history had this one thing in common: they refused to let their minds be scattered. They chose one vision, one idea, one mission, and they gave themselves completely to it. They shut out distractions, they ignored doubts, they rejected anything that did not serve their purpose. And because of that, their energy became an unstoppable force that changed the world. This power is within you right now, but you must take control of your attention. You must cut away the noise. You must decide once and for all what your purpose is, and then direct every ounce of focus toward it. Stop wasting time on what does not serve you. Stop feeding Distra. Sea-shins. Stop scattering your strength. Choose one goal, one mission, one vision, and let it consume your focus until it consumes your reality. Focus determines energy. Energy determines action. Action determines destiny. If your focus is weak, your energy will be weak. If your energy is weak, your actions will be weak. And if your actions are weak, your destiny will be weak. But if your focus is strong, your energy will be strong. If your energy is strong, your actions will be strong. And if your actions are strong, your destiny will be unstoppable. From this moment, discipline your focus. Guard it as you would guard treasure. Direct it only toward what builds you, strengthens you, moves you closer to the life you want. Let no distraction steal it. Let no weakness divide it. The more you master your focus, the more you master your energy, and the more you master your energy, the more you master your future. Remember this truth and live it daily. Focus determines energy, and energy builds destiny. Decide what deserves your attention, give it everything, and watch as your life transforms before your eyes. Guard against negative influences. They are the silent killers of dreams, the invisible chains that hold men and women from greatness. One negative seed planted in your mind can destroy an entire harvest of possibility. One word of doubt, one whisper of fear, one moment of discouragement, if accepted, can weaken your spirit and turn your destiny in the wrong direction. You must be ruthless in protecting your mind, for your mind is the workshop of your future, and it cannot be contaminated by the poison of negativity. Every day the world throws countless influences at you: voices, images, words, environments, and people. Some of them uplift, inspire, and empower. Others weaken, distract, and corrupt. The difference between those who rise to greatness and those who fall into mediocrity is this: the great are vigilant. They stand guard over their minds like warriors, refusing entry to anything that weakens their focus or drains their strength. Understand this truth: no enemy outside of you is as dangerous as the enemy of negativity within you. 1,000 obstacles can stand in your way, But if your mind is strong and pure, you will break through them all. But if your mind is infected with doubt, fear, and negativity, you will be defeated before the battle even begins. Therefore, guarding your mind is not optional. It is the foundation of victory. Where do these negative influences come from? They come from the people you surround yourself with, the conversations you entertain, the media you consume, and the environments you step into. Spend enough time around pessimists and you will inherit their hopelessness. Listen to complainers long enough and you will begin to complain yourself. Fill your mind with images of failure, weakness, and corruption. And soon your own thoughts will reflect the same darkness. Your results in life are the echo of what you allow into your mind. You must therefore make a decision to protect your mental environment with the same seriousness you protect your physical health. Just as you would not drink poison, you must not allow toxic words, thoughts, or influences to enter your mind. If someone speaks doubt into your vision, cut off their influence. If an environment pulls you away from strength and discipline, remove yourself from it. If a habit or source of entertainment fills you with weakness, replace it with something that builds courage and confidence. Guard your mind as you would guard gold. The weak man allows anyone to speak into his mind. He listens to gossip, to complaints, to discouragement, and then wonders why his spirit feels drained. The strong man rejects it instantly. He knows that every thought allowed to enter the mind is a seed, and seeds grow. Negative seeds produce negative fruit. Positive seeds produce positive fruit. The harvest of your life is determined by the seeds you protect or reject. Guard against negative influences even within yourself. The most dangerous voice is not the critic outside, but the critic inside. That inner voice that whispers, "You are not enough. You cannot do it. You will fail." That voice must be silenced, for it is the assassin of your potential. Replace it with a voice of power. Train your mind to speak words of faith, words of strength, words of victory. When your inner voice becomes your greatest ally, no external influence can defeat you. The world is filled with noise, but you must learn to filter it. When you encounter negativity, ask yourself, does this strengthen me or weaken me? Does this push me closer to my vision or drag me away? Does this fill me with faith or with fear? Anything that weakens your spirit, reject it. Anything that builds your spirit, embrace it. That discipline will determine the quality of your destiny. History shows us that those who achieve greatness always distance themselves from negative influences. They choose carefully who they listen to, who they associate with, and where they place their attention. They build circles of strength, not weakness. They fill their minds with knowledge, faith, and purpose, not with complaints, doubts, and distractions. They know that their mind is sacred, and they protect it with absolute vigilance. Make no mistake, if you allow negativity to shape your thoughts, it will shape your life, and the cost of that is too high. Many lives have been destroyed not by lack of opportunity, but by the constant acceptance of negative influence. Dreams have died not because they were impossible, but because they were drowned by voices of fear. You must not let that be your fate. Stand guard at the gate of your mind. Let no one enter unless they bring strength, courage, and vision. Protect your mental environment with the same energy a warrior protects his kingdom. Surround yourself with people who believe in you, conversations that uplift you, and environments that challenge you to grow. Let your inner voice speak faith louder than fear. Guard against negative influences, for the strength of your future depends on it. If you protect your mind, you will protect your destiny. If you let negativity in, you will surrender your power. But if you stand firm, if you guard your thoughts with discipline, no force on earth can stop you. Remember this truth always. The mind is the gateway to your future, and the one who guards it with strength will live a life of victory. Persistence of thought creates persistence of action. What you hold in your mind long enough becomes the force that drives your hands, your steps, and your destiny. A fleeting idea has no power, but a thought that is repeated, concentrated, and held with determination becomes a command to your entire being. When your mind refuses to let go of a vision, your actions will follow it until it becomes reality. That is the law of persistence. What you think consistently, you will do consistently, and what you do consistently, you will ultimately become. Look around you at the weak and the defeated. They start with excitement but abandon their goals at the first sign of difficulty. Why? Because their thoughts were never persistent. They dreamed for a moment, but they did not hold the vision long enough for it to take root. Without persistence of thought, action becomes fragile, and fragile action crumbles under pressure. But the strong, the victorious, the ones who achieve greatness, they do not release their vision. They think about it day and night. They breathe it, they live it, they dream it, and because their thoughts never die, their actions never stop. Persistence of thought is the soil where faith grows. A single thought of victory repeated with intensity becomes belief. Belief repeated with persistence becomes conviction. Conviction held unshakable transforms into relentless action. And relentless action always leads to achievement. You cannot escape this truth. The quality of your thoughts determines the quality of your actions, and the persistence of your thoughts determines the persistence of your actions. When obstacles rise, the average person retreats, but the one whose thoughts are fixed on his vision cannot retreat. His mind does not allow him. He may fall, but he rises again because the thought of victory burns too deeply to be extinguished. That is why persistence in thought is the seed of persistence in life. It keeps you moving when others quit. It gives you fuel when energy is gone. It whispers, continue, when the world screams, quit. Consider the great achievements of history. None were born in a single day. They were the result of men and women who held a single vision with unbreakable persistence until action after action, day after day, turned the vision into reality. The builder who raises a great cathedral must first hold the image of it in his mind year after year while he lays each stone. The inventor who creates so, Anything new must persist in his idea long after others laugh at it. The leader who changes the world must carry the thought of his mission through storms, resistance, and doubt. Without persistent thought, none of their actions would have survived. You must decide what thought deserves your persistence. Choose one vision, one goal, one destiny that calls you, and then hold it with a grip so strong that nothing can shake it from your mind. Repeat it daily. Speak it to yourself. Visualize it as if it were already achieved. Let it sink into the deepest part of your mind until it becomes more real than your present circumstances. When that happens, your actions will be forced to align. You will wake up with direction. You will work when you feel tired. You will continue when everything tells you to stop. That is the unstoppable power of persistent thought. Beware of weak thoughts, for they create weak actions. If you allow doubt to persist, you will act with hesitation. If you allow fear to persist, you will act with timidity. If you allow excuses to persist, you will act with laziness. But if you allow courage to persist, you will act with boldness. If you allow faith to persist, you will act with certainty. If you allow determination to persist, you will act with unshakable strength. You will always act in harmony with the thoughts you persist in holding. Ask yourself, what thought rules your mind today? Is it one of victory or defeat? One of growth or limitation? One of courage or fear? Whatever thought you repeat daily, that thought is building your future. If you want to transform your actions, transform your dominant thought. Plant the seed of greatness and water it with persistence until your actions reflect the same greatness. The path will not be easy. Life will test you. Obstacles will appear. Storms will rise and doubt will whisper. But if your thought persists, if your vision is burned into your soul, nothing can stop you. You will keep moving step after step until the mountain is climbed. Your persistence in thought will give you persistence in action, and persistence in action will guarantee victory. Do not be deceived. Success does not belong to the fastest, the smartest, or the strongest. It belongs to the one who refuses to quit, and refusal to quit is born from one thing: persistence of thought. If you think long enough, if you believe deeply enough, if you hold your vision firmly enough, you will act until it is achieved. That is the law, and that law has never failed. So from this moment forward, discipline your thoughts. Fix them on your purpose. Refuse to let go of your vision no matter how long it takes, no matter how many obstacles arise, no matter how many times you fall. Think persistently, act persistently, live persistently. For persistence of thought creates persistence of action, and persistence of action creates destiny. Hold your vision until it holds you, and you will become unstoppable. Master your thoughts, master your world. Everything you see in your life right now, your achievements, your struggles, your wealth, your relationships, is the reflection of the thoughts that have dominated your mind until this very moment. Your outer world is nothing more than a mirror of your inner world. If your mind is chaotic, your life will be chaotic. If your mind is disciplined, your life will be disciplined. If your mind is filled with fear, your life will produce fear. If your mind is filled with courage and purpose, your life will produce power and victory. The world you live in is built first in the mind. You are not defeated by circumstances. You are not limited by others. You are limited by the thoughts you allow to rule your mind. Weak thoughts produce weak lives. Strong thoughts produce strong lives. The one who has mastered his thoughts has already mastered his destiny, because nothing in the outer world can resist the force of a mind that is fully under control. Think of the man who complains about his situation. He blames the world. He blames others. He blames fate. Yet he does not realize that his life is nothing but the result of the thoughts he has entertained day after day. He has lived in doubt, so his life is filled with hesitation. He has lived in fear, so his life is filled with missed opportunities. He has lived in weakness, so his life reflects weakness. Change cannot come until he learns to master the very thoughts that created his reality. Now think of the man who rises above. He is not free of problems, but he is free of mental slavery. He has taken command of his mind, and because of that, he takes command of his life. He thinks with clarity. He directs his thoughts toward purpose, not distraction. He rejects fear and replaces it with faith. He rejects weakness and replaces it with determination. His world bends to his mastery, because the world always bends to the one who masters himself. Understand this truth. Your thoughts are forces. Every thought you dwell upon sends out energy that shapes your decisions, your habits, your actions, and your results. If you think small, you will live small. If you think big, you will expand. If you think failure, you will sabotage yourself. If you think success with persistence and faith, your actions will align with success until it is yours. That is why mastery of thought is the highest mastery of all. Do not let your mind drift. An undisciplined mind is dangerous. It will wander into fear, doubt, anger, and limitation. It will accept the poison of others. It will focus on what you do not want, and by focusing, it will attract more of it. But when you take command, when you discipline your mind to think only of strength, growth, and victory, you change the entire direction of your life. Your mind becomes your servant, not your master. And when your mind serves your purpose, nothing can stop you. This mastery requires vigilance. Every day you must watch your thoughts. Every day you must reject the ones to weaken you and embrace the ones that empower you. The battle is constant, but the reward is freedom. Imagine living with a mind that obeys you, a mind that does not wander into weakness, a mind that moves with precision toward your chosen destiny. That is the life of mastery. Most people live as slaves to their own minds. They believe every fear, they obey every doubt, they follow every distraction. They do not realize they have the power to choose, but you are not most people. You can decide now to take control. You can decide to master your thoughts, and by mastering them, you will master your world. Look at the great builders of history. They did not wait for the world to shape them. They shaped the world by shaping their minds first. Every invention, every movement, every empire was first created in the thoughts of a man or woman who mastered their inner vision. Their outer world was a reflection of their inner mastery. What they held in thought, they demanded in reality. So I ask you, what thoughts rule you today? Are they thoughts of greatness, or are they thoughts of defeat? Are they thoughts that make you rise, or thoughts that make you retreat? The answer to that question reveals the destiny you are building. If you want a new life, begin with new thoughts. If you want a powerful world, build a powerful mind. Master your thoughts, master your world. That is the law. Do not argue with it, do not doubt it, do not ignore it, live it. Command your mind daily. Train it as you would train a warrior. Feed it with faith, vision, and strength. Starve it of fear, weakness, and distraction. Direct it toward one purpose and never release it. Soon you will see your world transform before your very eyes, because the outer world must always bow to the inner master. From this moment, refuse to let your thoughts wander uncontrolled. Refuse to let negativity build your life. Refuse to surrender to weakness. Decide that you are the master. Decide that your mind will obey you. Decide that your thoughts will serve your destiny. For the one who masters his thoughts has already mastered his world, and the one who has mastered his world holds the power to create anything. And so it comes down to this. Your life is nothing more than the reflection of the thoughts you choose to hold, the thoughts you choose to feed, the thoughts you choose to master. Thought is the seed of destiny. You become what you dwell upon. Control your mind or it will control you. Speak power into yourself, for auto-suggestion is power. Dare to imagine, for imagination builds reality. Focus determines energy, and energy builds destiny. Guard against negative influences, for they are the thieves of greatness. Persist in your thoughts until they drive persistent action. And through that persistence, you will achieve what others call impossible. And above all, master your thoughts, and you will master your world. The choice is yours. You can drift, scattered and weak, at the mercy of fear and distraction. Or you can rise disciplined and unshakable, the master of your mind and the ruler of your future. Decide now. Take control. Direct your thoughts with power and watch as your entire life bends to your will. For the one who conquers the mind conquers everything.